watching Deontay Boxing Nation.
Your speed was just too much for him. He couldn't figure it out. He'd come rushing in and jab, jab. Was that the plan, just to use that jab and then get him into submission?
I'm going to be real. For a 126-pounder, he carry power. So, and the name of the game is boxing, is hit and not get hit. So I had to use my Muhammad Ali tactics, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
And that pressure that he put on you early, how are you able to get him out of that stance? And what did you do to combat that constant pressure, particularly in those first 5-6 rounds?
I mean, like I said, we had a tremendous training camp. We sparred with Michelle Rivera a lot. He's a much bigger guy, stronger guy, and I was practicing on that the whole training camp, using my speed, using my jab. And I know in boxing, the jab will set you free. They get you in trouble, you're not in trouble sometimes.
You're surprised while he was pressuring you that he didn't throw more punches?
No, I'm very slippery, so it's not that easy to hit me. If you catch me with one good, you lucky.
Deontay's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Chris Colbert, he puts on a show completely dominating Scott Nyambar. Chris, he would go on to say that Nyambar is the hardest puncher he's ever faced. Chris was originally supposed to fight Gamboa, so Scott, he was the replacement. And it's extremely rare for a replacement opponent to be a better fighter than the original fighter. At least to be a better fighter than this version of Gamboa. There's no doubt this was a much better fight in terms of stepping up in competition for Colbert. In the first 5 to 6 rounds, Scott, he was very aggressive, but Chris was nullifying his aggression with his great jab and beautiful combinations that Chris would throw. By the second half of the fight, Nyambar, he was tired of getting hit with jabs and right hands all night, so he decided to not let his hands go and pretty much just follow Chris around the whole night, hoping that he would land one lucky punch. You know, considering the amount of power that this man, Scott, has, and the fact that he gave Gary Russell a good fight, makes this win a lot more impressive for Chris Colbert. Chris is now the #1 contender for the WBA belt, and the Super WBA champion is Gervonta Tank Davis. And the WBA regular champion is a Roger Gutierrez. Now, it's hard to believe that Tank Davis will go all the way back down to 130 to fight Chris Colbert. So it looks like he's going to probably end up facing Roger Gutierrez from Venezuela. But I'll wrap this report up by saying this. Chris Colbert, he has all of the tools to be a big star in the sport of boxing. In fact, if he wasn't on the coincidental list, they would really be talking a lot more about him right now. His style is very animated. It's very colorful, just like his appearance. He was fighting against the hardest puncher he ever faced, and in the majority of the rounds, he was walking back Scott Nyambar in his high guard and throwing beautiful combinations. So yeah, man, if he wasn't on the coincidental list, people would be talking about him a lot more. Speaking of him being on the coincidental list, the bad news is Chris Colbert, he lost a lot of fans, or he lost a lot of respect from people that were his fans already when he dissed someone else on the coincidental list, and that's Deontay Wilder. Now, I want to make this clear. When I say he dissed him, I'm not talking about him picking Tyson Fury to win. That has nothing to do with dissing someone. The stuff that he said about Deontay Wilder and his team was more personal. And I think that's the reason why he received a lot of backlash when he said these things. That's the bad news. Now, the good news, at least for Chris Colbert, is he gained a lot of racist fans. Well, let me correct that. They didn't become Chris Colbert's fans. They just really liked what he said about another fighter on the coincidental list. The fact we know that they're still not Chris's fans because they're not going to praise Chris Colbert like they would praise someone else on the hope list that is as dominant as Chris Colbert is in the ring today. Chris is obviously oblivious to the racial double standards that exist in the sport of boxing, but he's going to find out once he starts fighting bigger name opponents that are not black. And he starts to see all those fans that love what he said about Deontay Wilder now rooting against him because he's fighting someone with the complexion for the protection. Coincidentally, this is exactly what happened to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman used to use all of the same talking points that all these racist fans use to discredit Floyd Mayweather. No matter what Floyd did, they would discredit him, obviously. And Keith used to always use their exact same talking points, word for word, right? Keith Thurman saw himself as the opposite of Floyd Mayweather. And because of that false perception, as soon as Keith Thurman fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero, I'll never forget it because I was covering that fight. I was at the weigh-in. Man, Keith Thurman, he stood on that stage and it was thousands of fans completely booing him. And I'll never forget the look on Keith Thurman's face. He looked up at the crowd like he was completely confused. He like, are they booing me? What's going on here? Hey, you guys know me. Remember one time, I'm not quote unquote boring like Floyd Mayweather. I'm getting knockouts. I'm doing this. Why y'all booing me? That's when he found out he was on a coincidental list. So this is what a lot of black fighters need to be aware of. They don't care how you fight. They don't care if you get knockouts like Gervonta Tank Davis. They don't care if you never get hit like Shakur Stevenson. They don't care if you agree with all of their racial talking points about other black fighters. The only thing these type of fans care about is something you will never be able to change, is your skin complexion. So Chris Colbert may not be the best when it comes to doing interviews, but he's definitely one of the best when it comes to fighting in the ring. We'll see who he gets next. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Hello, my name is Dominic. I just got my procedure done here at South Carolina's. I was recommended by Deontay's Boxing Nation, and it's real. You know, here's the results. The brother out here, Brother Enoch, is real, and it's a very, very, very good recommendation. I recommend it. 4 hours, you in, you out, and it's the rest of your life.
So if anyone in the world wants this hookup, make sure you contact my man Enoch at 704-499-3471, and make sure to follow him on Instagram.